Mic check. What's going on, world? It's your boy SB, and I want to welcome you all back to episode 62 of season 5 of the Roll Up Podcast. As always, as I like to kick off every single episode, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of y'all that's been locked into the campaign this year. There's been some new additions to the arsenal. There's been some new manifestations that have revealed themselves to help get this mission across. So as always, man, before we dive into the content, man, I just want to extend the invitation, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the content on all major platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Wherever you stream motivation, I'm pretty sure the Roll Up Podcast is there. Make sure you drop a subscribe to show some love to the campaign. The goal for 2025 is to amass 100,000 subs on all platforms. Right now, we're sitting at 81. We got a long way to go. But, as I always say, as the more we spread the message, the more people that can get hip to the campaign. So if you're really feeling inspired and you're feeling supportive, feel free to share the content with the homies. Feel free to check out tsbe.org. That's the official website of the Roll Up Podcast. Everything you need is all in one location. Also, be sure to join the monthly newsletter to receive updates on the progress of the new endeavors. Be sure to follow the campaign via social media at the Roll Up Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the campaign on YouTube at the Sauce Brady Experience. I got some new visual components that's getting ready to get added to the campaign, so make sure y'all stay locked and loaded for that as well. The Season 5 merch collection is also available for a few more weeks, so make sure you head over to the Socks Factory in the spot to grab you some merch. It's officially hoodie season, and like I said on the last episode, I got you covered and smothered. So if you need some new hoodies, if you need some new sweatshirts, make sure you grab 2 of them because they're so hard. I'm pretty sure both of them going to get snatched and you're probably going to need another one. So make sure you check out the Sauce Factory in the spot. Grab you some merch. The Season 5 collection ends on 12/31. The Season 6 merch collection is already in the final stages and is ready to get dropped on 1/1/25. These new designs really go too crazy. So if you didn't get the Season 5 collection, you definitely going to want to jump on this new that's getting ready to drop as well. But as always, man, now we got the business out of the way. It's time that we jump into the topic of today's conversation. On the last episode, we talked about how nobody can coach you into wanting to achieving your goals, and serves as a perfect segue into today's episode. Wanting to win is half the battle, but in order to truly win in life, you need to have the will to win. Anybody can show up when they feel 100%. In contrast, not too many people will show up when they aren't feeling 100%. I get it. You won't always feel like doing what's necessary to achieve your life missions. But if you only show up for yourself when you feel like it, sadly, you will still come up empty-handed. When it comes to chasing your dreams, sometimes you got to show up for yourself on the days you don't want to. On the days you have free time and you just want to binge Netflix all day, sometimes you have to push yourself just a little bit harder to get motivated. It is the pushing yourself to get to work that is the conversation for today's episode. As always, we got to lead the episode off with a quote. And I'm sure if you've never listened to a quote of any one of these people on my podcast, I'm pretty sure you're going to listen to this quote today by 6-time NBA champion Michael Jordan. And the quote reads, "Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, and others make it happen." When it comes to having the will to win, you can't be the first 2 people that want it but don't want it. You can't be one of the people that wish it would happen and not put any action to it. Sometimes you got to be that person that make it happen. When it comes to achieving your goals, wanting it is not enough. You got to prove through consistent action that you want it to happen. In order for this to happen, we got to learn to not try to scale the whole mountain in one day. When we break the goal down into smaller steps, each step gets us closer to our goal. Taking these small steps are crucial because if we wish they would happen and not take any action towards them, then they won't happen. If we want it to happen and spend more time thinking than working, they won't happen. We got to learn to show up for ourselves and do the work. When life strips us down to nothing, we can't stay on the ground and keep getting the shit kicked out of us. We got to fight back and roll with the punches. This is why having the right mindset that we talked about in the last episode is so important. If you continue to allow life to show you everything that you're missing, instead of being grateful for who you are and what you have, you will continue to focus on your misfortune. You will continue to harp on your quote-unquote bad luck, and nothing positive ever happens when you only focus on the negatives. You have to have the strong belief that the work you're doing is for a greater cause. You got to have unwavering faith in the fact that the way may be dark, but you're still going to take the step towards where you want to be. Because I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people fucked up from the hurricane right now, and I'm one of those people. My family are one of those people. We were in Florida, had a lot of crazy shit happening all at the same time, and then to put the icing on the cake, we had to get relocated to a hotel. The hotel flooded, so we had to move to another hotel. And when I tell you that hotel flooded, I'm talking about calf deep water in a matter of seconds. And it's taught me a lot. And as I've seen the damage in other places, and I've seen the displacement, I've seen, the people that's still missing, the people that have, transitioned to the other side, it just put me back into the lens of gratitude. Because that's what we need. As I say all the time, gratitude is an attitude that determines your altitude. It's equally important to put yourself in an environment that promotes your growth, and your well-being. The people you have the most contact and access to you must be there to pour life into you and remind you of the greatness that lies within. This environment is vital, especially when it comes to pursuing something that you want to happen. When you are around these people that want to see you win and continue to pour into you, your mind will begin to strengthen and will propel you into putting in the work. For example, I mentioned my homeboy before. I share his work on social media all the time, but my boy Cordero, he one of the people that I got in my corner. For example, I got a lot of people in my corner, that's behind me, that's supporting me, but, me and Cordero relationship, we go way back because, like I said before, we worked in Disney together, so we've been in the trenches together. And watching his campaign grow, watching him do what he does on a daily basis, man, is truly an inspiration. And to be honest with you, the reason why we have merch for the podcast, a YouTube channel, and 2 books out is because of the conversations that I've had with Cordero about different avenues to give people the access to find out about the podcast. The main reason this podcast exists is because I want to be that same person for you. You may be around people that don't appreciate you for you. They may not appreciate your creative gift or acknowledge the hard work you put in. But guess what? I do. Every time you press play on the episode, I pray that you get your mojo back and you lock back into the mission. I want to be that person that pushes you to achieving your goals. Not because I want to be a part of your journey, but just a simple fact that I want to be a person in your corner to remind you of the greatness that lies within you. To get back on topic, we touched on earlier this season, you have to have a strong reason why you're doing what you're doing. Something has to be the driving force for you to show up on the days you really don't want to. If you don't have a reason to keep going, then you will continue to be inconsistent in your efforts. But when your why is strong enough, the will to succeed will radiate through you, and you will find a way to make it happen. Whatever it is, I'm guaranteeing that if you make your why strong enough, nothing will stop you from reaching your desired level of success. I was watching the Terry Crews interview recently, and he said that when he was a janitor, while he was sweeping floors, he had to play mental games in his head to help him get through the day. He said that he would ask himself, what if somebody paid you $1 million to clean these floors? And after a while, he started to move with more intention. He started to become more prepared to do the job and that transition from sweeping floors to carrying that same mindset through movie roles. It may seem silly to play games like this, but reset your subconscious mind to learn to be grateful through your situation is a major component into making things happen. At the end of the day, as I've said before, whether you get to where you want to or you don't is completely up to you. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. Maybe life just wants to see if you have that will to keep fighting after you get knocked down. Maybe life keeps testing your strength to show you that you are stronger than you realize, and the more you lean on your strength and your capabilities, your belief in yourself will rise, and you will become equipped to show up for yourself consistently. It is important that we have the will to win, because let me tell you something. Rainy days are necessary in order for you to appreciate the sunshine. Sometimes situations don't work out so you can get something better. Sometimes situations don't work out not because it's not what's aligned for you. When you have this will to win, you open your mind to all possibilities of what could happen, and in return, this new level of concentration and focus will propel you to where you truly need to be. I'm challenging you for the next 90 days of 2024. Become intentional in your work and become intentional in your process. In these last few months, when life attempts to throw you off course with the anxiety about the future and the unknown, you start getting down about what's happened in the past, I challenge you to take a deep breath, let go of what you can't control, and take action in the present moment. I challenge you in this last quarter of the year to show up for yourself and work on your goals for at least an hour every day and keep track of how much you've accomplished. I believe in you, and I know you're going to get to where you're supposed to be. But I need you to promise me that your will to win will outweigh the voices in your head trying to convince you to give up. Take today's quote with you and apply it when you think about the direction that you want to go. Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, and others make it happen. With that being said, that concludes today's episode. I hope something was said today to inspire you to put the work in and to be consistent in your grind. Every day won't be easy, but 6 months from now, you will be grateful that not only we had this conversation, but you had the courage to do something about it. So be sure to stay up to date with the campaign by subscribing to the monthly newsletter at tsbe.org. Make sure you subscribe to the campaign on all major platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you seek motivation. Like I said earlier, I know I'm there. So make sure you subscribe to the campaign. Make sure you check out the Sauce Factory, grab you some merch, check out the spot. Be on the lookout for the new content, man. I got some new, different other shit that I'm working on right now that's going to bring all these manifestations that I've been talking about. That's going to bring all these episodes together to show you that I am practicing what I preach. So as always, man, you have a great day, great night, great morning, whenever you listen to this. Just have a great day. Do what you got to do to get to where you want to be. And as always, get lifted, stay inspired. It's your boy. Peace.